In today's Leeds news, Ramazani injury update, Rothwell permanent option, new striker to strengthen in January, Tanaka once more, and Jack Harrison's future. Morning folks, Cher here at The View, Thursday morning the 14th of November with your Leeds United news. I hope you're all having a good week so far. There's little small bits and pieces to get into some updates on Ramazani's injury, as well as looking at the potential permanent option of Joe Rothwell at Leeds United, and Jack Harrison's future very much in the spotlight as out. Tanaka also wants more from his time at Leeds United. Just a quick update on social media. There's been people asking about whether we have a Blue Sky account. We do. The details are on screen there now if you want to follow us on Blue Sky or Threads. You can if you're not a fan of X or Twitter and you want to move away from that to somewhere else that's a little bit calmer. The options are there now, as most people are starting to filter away from X. There's options there for Blue Sky and for Threads, and you'll find all the normal updates and information on there that we do put out on X. You can check that out. We'll start off today with stories, a bit of a good news update around the largely Ramazani injury, and a lot of the recent style of play complaints have been put down to possibly just a lack of a largely Ramazani in the team, and the flair and the bit of excitement that he brings to the Leeds United team. Whether you believe that to be true or not, Leeds have definitely lacked a little bit of flair in the final third in the last couple of weeks, and Ramazani has given Leeds United fans a little bit of an update that might ease the nerves and provide a bit of a bonus for Leeds coming out of this international break. The initial absence was said to be due to severe ankle ligament injury picked up by Ramazani and would put him out for up to 6 weeks, returning some point in November. Well, here we are now, we are in November, and the winger took to Instagram yesterday to show a picture of his feet all booted up and ready to go in a dressing room, which would suggest that the player is at the very least back on the grass training, and hopefully even back in some team training with the reduced squad that Leeds have right now during the international breaks. And you'd hope that that break now gives Ramazani a chance to up his minutes on the training pitch, get a bit more fire in the belly and get ready to go, and Daniel Farke hopefully get a chance to work with him over the last week or so. But it might still take a few weeks before Ramazani is fully fit and ready to go. We've seen it with Dan James and Manor Solomon's return. It can just take a couple of weeks and more game time before players can get back into full game speed, and that takes some time and it should be expected, but it's still a very positive update for everybody involved to see Large Ramazani possibly ready to make a return for Leeds United. Moving on to a player that's currently with Leeds United, not on a permanent deal, but one that's potentially being questioned around what his future could look like at the club. And according to Graham Bailey, he believes that Leeds United would be very keen on making Joe Rothwell a permanent signing, but does make the point that it probably won't happen unless Leeds can get promoted to the Premier League. Bournemouth's need for the midfielder has lessened yet again, with Tyler Adams returning from his recent injury, meaning that there is now more options at Bournemouth's disposal, and the former Blackburn midfielder is now completely surplus to requirements, and a permanent exit for him could be on the cards. Bailey, however, says that if Leeds don't go up, this won't be happening, but does see Joe Rothwell as a very strong squad option for Leeds should they go to the Premier League and want to have the player with them. Rothwell has now started 7 games for Leeds United this season and has been part of a midfield duo that has brought in the 2 points per game magic number that Leeds will need to get automatic promotion this season, and become partnerships with the partnership with Tanaka has become a very comfortable partnership for me, and it's in a partnership I enjoy watching in the middle of the park for Leeds. I personally don't think that this becomes a permanent deal. I think Leeds have very clearly brought a player in to do a job for right now in the Championship, and if they do get promoted, will likely go in a different direction. If they want to reinforce that midfield, Leeds will probably need to put proven Premier League quality down the spine of their team, from goalkeeper, centre back, midfield, 10, 9 even, next season if they do get promoted. So yeah, he's a good player. I like Joe Rothwell a lot. I like his bursting runs. I like his attacking motives when he plays football. He gets the ball. He's always looking to go forward, and I like that an awful lot about him. But I don't think Daniel Farke would ideally have 2 midfielders like him and Tanaka if he had an out-and-out sitting player. And if Gilavogi gets up to speed, you might start to see that change in the coming weeks as well, and we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. But position that has been a problem for Leeds right now at the moment has been the striker position, with 3 strikers who all offer different things to Leeds, not all firing at the same time, and Leeds may look into the transfer market in January to try and solve some of that problem. According to Dom Howson, speaking in Leeds Live this week, he believes that Daniel Farke will look to strengthen the attacking options come the January transfer window. Farke wanted a number 10 in the late days of the transfer window during the summer and failed to bring one in, probably mostly because he had just welcomed back Brendan Aronson to the club, who is a number 10 that Leeds had spent £25 million on. So Arguably, he had a £25 million number 10 to manage and work with that he wanted back at the club, but that hasn't stopped further links with players to Leeds United. We've seen Gus Hamer linked again coming into January, but writing in Leeds Live, Howson believes that the number 9 position is probably the more likely position that Farke will tackle, and he said the following: signing a new forward is likely to be top of Daniel Farke's shopping list heading into the January window. Short and sweet quote there, but yeah, it looks like that might be the case. Leeds currently have Mateo Joseph, Joel Pirou and Patrick Bamford, but they all add different things and all lacking in certain areas. Mateo Joseph works really hard for Leeds. His link-up play is very, very good. His pressing is excellent, but he's not converting chances when he gets the opportunities. Joel Pirou, on the other hand, is coming off the bench and being massively impactful, but when he starts games, is pretty quiet and doesn't add an awful lot to the Leeds' full team game. And then Patrick Bamford has been either injured or ill this season and just hasn't really added anything, and his availability has again been a problem so far this season. So maybe Daniel Farke will park sentiment, will park loyalty to certain players right now and go and bring in an attacker to guarantee Leeds a push into the Premier League next season. Leeds left themselves short last year in January, looking like they'd probably done enough, but when the injuries came in the back end of the season, Leeds were left lacking, so they might want to look at that again this year. A player that is the club and is enjoying his time at the club is Tanaka, and he wants more from his time at Leeds. And speaking with LUTV this week, he's given some detail on what he wants to achieve at Leeds. The October Player of the Month says he wants to achieve more than just a Player of the Month trophy, and hopes that it's not the only trophy that he picks up this season. But the Japanese international has some more short-term goals on his mind and wants to start scoring a couple of goals to add to his portfolio. Tanaka has had a very, very strong month for Leeds United, and his quality and calmness has been a real asset for the club. The current setup means that Tanaka is playing in a slightly deeper role than he is used to playing in, and he hopes that the return of Ethan Ampadu in December or January means he might be a little bit more of a licence to go forward and try and get a goal or two. Speaking to LUTV on him joining the club and how he settled in as well as his goals, Tanaka said the following: I can't thank my teammates and the coaching staff enough. They have been a massive support since I arrived and are always helping me. I really appreciate all of their guidance, and they're the reason why I've managed to get this award. The fans have been great, and I want to score a goal as soon as possible for them. Tanaka is expected to stay in the defensive area right now while Leeds wait for Ethan Ampadu and maybe Ilya Gruev to come back, although personally I think Gruev's season's over. But Ethan Ampadu coming back into that, and then it'll be interesting to see what Leeds do with Gilavogi and Rothwell and how they rotate those options in midfield. But plenty of options, and it's always a good thing. And different profiles of player, meaning Leeds can do different things, is really, really important for them if they need to shake things up or change things up a little bit. And the options, they're there in the middle of the park for Daniel Farke should he decide to use them. But Tanaka's been fantastic for Leeds this season. He's probably been one of the biggest bright sparks of the year so far, and he's not too far away from the goal. He was unlucky not to have a little bending shot against QPR, find the bottom corner, only for the shot to be blocked. So it's coming. It's coming. Let's hope he can manage his minutes a little bit over the next couple of weeks and give the man a break. He's played a lot of football and travelled a huge amount of miles. A player that's not at the club, but his future is very much in doubt, is Jack Harrison, and his long-term future is very much up in the air, with rumours coming out of Merseyside at the moment that Everton may be considering cancelling the player's loan deal and sending him back to Leeds United. Harrison is in his second consecutive loan at Everton, and while his first one started really well for him, this one not so much. Harrison is now 27 years of age and has 11 Premier League appearances under his belt so far this season, but hasn't managed a goal or an assist and has been benched in the last 2 games by Sean Dyche. And Harrison's seasons usually tend to start quite hot and finish quite hot, but it's the winter months when he gets a bit sticky and Jack tends to go missing a little bit. But he hasn't had the strong start to the season that he's tended to have. Last season, Harrison's mum was videoed in the crowd at an away game, and when one of the fans shouted at Jack, "Don't go back to Leeds," her response was, "No fucking chance." Pretty definitive statement, and Jack himself has had some pretty negative things to say about the club while he's been at Everton, and that's not going to help his cause should he end up in a situation where Everton cancel the deal and he returns to Leeds United. According to the rumours, Everton may look to cancel the deal. The cash-strapped club may be looking to bring in an alternative player in January to help them to pull further away from the relegation zone. But Sky Sports commentator Don Goodman believes that this represents a bit of a problem for Leeds United should he come back to the club. Goodman points out that the blame for this situation very much lies with the previous regime, saying that the contract that they negotiated with these loan exits was crazy. Now, most people won't agree with 99.9% of anything that Don Goodman says about Leeds United, but I think we can all agree that those loan exit clauses were mad from Leeds, and crazy is probably the least offensive term that you could use for those deals. But Harrison may find himself now in a situation where he ends up back at Leeds in January, and Leeds might look to offload him, but Leeds will want to try and recoup some money on Harrison, and him not playing regularly for Everton means he's probably not a sellable asset, and struggling in the Premier League with Everton means another loan to the Premier League might be trickier than he or Leeds might think. But the big lesson in this is very clear. Don't talk ill of the club that owns your contract, because you may have to face the music at some point in the future. Most players that went away from Leeds didn't really have a swing at the club. A lot of them were very complimentary or dodged the question completely. Jack hasn't, and Jack's media work has always been questionable. So he's put himself in a position now where if his loan is cancelled, which I personally think is unlikely, but if it is cancelled and he does come back to Leeds, it could be a little bit uncomfortable for him when he gets back, and he might have some serious bridges to build should he have to stick around for longer than January. But we'll find out and we'll see. Folks, that'll be it for me today. You can check out yesterday's news video down below, or the review from the October games so far this month if you want to fill some time. And I'll be back tomorrow morning for more Leeds news. Enjoy the remainder of your Thursday, and I will talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.